We are constantly manifesting every single day, everything around us. What is around us is a direct result of what we think, feel, and believe to be true. Going inside, recognizing what we want and how our beliefs, thoughts, feelings, and actions go against what we really want, correcting them, and then manifesting what we want successfully. That's all this is. First things first, we need our little makeup headband, of course. Cannot do my makeup without it. Today, we're going to be talking about the basics of manifestation. What is manifestation? What is the law of attraction? And how can we use it to make our lives better? Manifestation, simply put, is the act of bringing something from the energetic, the non-physical world into the physical world. So bringing an idea into reality, that is manifestation. Bringing something you visualized into reality, that is manifestation. Bringing anything that is non-physical into the physical world and seeing like a physical representation of it. We are constantly manifesting the world around us at every moment. Like, you can intentionally manifest something that you want, yes, but you are always manifesting. Even if you're not thinking about it, even if you've never even heard of manifesting before, you are always bringing things from the non-physical realm, from thought, from idea, from visualization into the physical world. This is the act of innovation, of creating something, of inventing something. And we are always inventing our lives. We are always creating our lives. We have beliefs that we were born with and that were created when we were a kid. And based off of those beliefs, we perceive the world around us very differently. Your beliefs create your perceptions, how you take in the world around you, and your perception become your thoughts, and your thoughts becomes your feelings, right? They create chemical reactions in your body, your feelings, and your feelings create your actions, right? You do things based off of how you feel, and your actions then have consequences, which creates your life, the world around you. That is manifestation, right? We go from belief to perception to thought to feeling to action to consequence to life. And it's a cycle. It just keeps going round and round and round. And that's why if at any point you change your perception, thoughts, feelings, or beliefs, you will change your actions, which will change your life, right? You can change your life by just changing the things you believe to be true. You can change your life by changing how you perceive something. You can change your life by changing your feelings about something. But it's really hard to just change your feelings without changing your belief systems, which is why people always talk about like shadow work. Shadow work is just really the idea of going inside, understanding why we believe what we believe, and either choosing to continue to believe that or choosing to believe something different and working through that trauma. So for example, like 3 years ago, I very much did not believe that men were capable of having the same level of emotional intelligence than women. And the reason I believe that is because I had never seen it. And I think society kind of perpetuates the idea that men are not very like emotional people, like they're very cold, and this is all stuff that I think is also promoted for men to behave, right? They're not told to process their feelings, they're not told to feel their feelings, they're not taught any of those things. They're taught about getting a job and going to work and being manly and all those other things, right? It's not normalized. So because I had never seen it, I didn't believe it to be true. And so the relationships that I was in and the men that I was dating, like, were very, very cold and very against emotions. Like, they would always tell me I was way too sensitive and way too emotional and way too this and way too that. Just like, they would never understand my feelings. They would never appreciate my feelings. I started to reevaluate, like, okay, is this all men? And I had this yoga teacher, and I went to this like spiritual workshop one time, and I was talking about this yoga teacher because there was one day in yoga where I started sobbing while I was in, I don't even remember what pose. I just started sobbing, and I was basically just like releasing a bunch of pent up emotions. And he did not freak out. He did not think it was weird. He just gave me a hug. He helped me talk through it, and he was like, this is what yoga is for. You're supposed to let out your emotions. Like, this is a beautiful thing. And it like blew my mind because I had never had a man understand my feelings or appreciate my feelings until that moment. What this person told me in the spiritual workshop that I went to, they were like, okay, so he was your expander, right? He expanded your idea of life. And so he expanded my idea of what men were capable for. And so then I looked inside and I was like, okay, so why do I have this belief? It must stem back to my childhood. I learned at a young age that men did not understand feelings in the same way that women did, and just kept perceiving that around me, thinking that was true, feeling that that was true, and so that was what my life was. But the second I had a different perception, and I was like, oh, so some men are capable of being okay with feelings. That is how I was then able to change the way I looked at people, at men, at just humans in general, and realize that we are all capable of understanding and expressing and being okay with emotions. And from that point forward, I knew when I was like dating someone to look for that quality in partners, to look for someone who was comfortable with emotions, comfortable with feelings, didn't think down on them, didn't think sensitivity was bad. And I then ended up in the current relationship that I'm in right now with someone who is so emotionally intelligent and so understanding of my feelings and so sensitive to my feelings and helps me to feel my feelings and work through them. But if I would have never changed my belief system about that, if I would have never changed my thoughts, my perception about that, if I would have never changed my feelings about that, then I would have never worked through all of that to manifest this person who I love. You can literally manifest absolutely anything you want. But the thing is, in order for you to manifest anything you want, you have to believe that it's possible. Whatever you perceive to be true is true to you. That's how the brain works, right? Whatever area of your life you just like don't feel successful in, you feel like it's just not working for you, the thing you want is just not coming. Whatever area of your life that's happening in, that is an area of your life that you need to explore, right? You need to go inward, whether it's with a therapist or it's by yourself in a journal or it's with a friend that is okay talking about these kinds of things. Like, you really need to have like a coming to yourself moment where you look inside and you understand, why do I feel this way? What is happening that is blocking this? And usually you'll realize that there's a lot of things that you believe to just be fact, to just be true, that are not necessarily fact or true, that could be perceived the direct opposite way by someone else. But you believe that this is the way it is, and because you believe that that's the way it is, there's like no chance of it coming to you. I would say the first step in manifestation, in being able to manifest your dream life, figuring out what you want, and once you've figured out what you want, figuring out what beliefs, what things do you think are true that go in opposition to these things. What do you believe is true about love? Where do you think you could love yourself better? If you really want to manifest more money, what were you taught about money when you were a kid? What were you taught about money growing up? How have you spent your money up until this point? A lot of us just kind of live in autopilot, and we don't really think about these things. If we're consciously trying to go after these goals that we want and we feel like we're failing all the time, it's going to create just like a lot of sadness and a lot of fear and a lot of pain. And none of that is because you're not capable of it. None of it is because you're not worthy of it. It's all just because you have conflicting things that you think, that you feel, and that you believe to be true on a daily basis that go against your overall goals that you want to bring into your life. That is the basics of manifestation. If your internal dialogue, your internal feelings are in opposition to your goals, to the things you want to create in life, you aren't going to get there. And it takes that inner work, it takes that inner reframing, it takes that inner understanding of it being possible. Your brain is the power. Your brain telling you that this is possible, that this works, that this is true, that you are capable, that it is something you can obtain, that is what works. Because when you believe it to be true, when you believe it to be possible, then you think that way, you feel that way, you act that way, and suddenly you have it. And it's in front of you, and it's your life. So that brings me to the end of today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for a first season of Mirrors. I'm so grateful that I've been able to do this and create this. I missed creating so much, and I feel like this first season has just really allowed me to tap back into my creative side and tap back into like doing something that I love so much. And so I'm so grateful for it. I feel like I've set up kind of like the framework and the basics for what this podcast is and what my YouTube channel is. And now I'm also more comfortable and I feel like just like more myself again. And so I want to get deeper and I want to talk about manifestation methods. I want to talk about limiting beliefs. I want to create affirmation tracks for you and meditation tracks for you. I want to do astrological updates every week. Like I just want to get a little bit deeper and have a little more fun now that I feel more comfortable and I feel like I've set sort of like a nice little framework of this podcast and this video series. Make sure you're subscribed or following me, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, so that you get the next episode of season 2. And yeah, that's all I got for you today. Make sure you check out my TikTok, my Instagram. Those will be linked down below if you want to see more of me. And if you have any questions, any recommendations, any topics you want talked about, I would love to. Make sure you DM me and I will make them. Okay, that is the end of today. Thank you. That is the end of season 1. Thank you. Okay. I will see you next time.